Good morning, televiewers, and welcome to this other edition of The Brief, live on My Media Prime Television, the program where we get to analyze the major headlines in the papers in the country. On today's edition of the program, we are focusing on the increase in the prices of bread in the country due to the rising cost of importation of wheat flour into the country. And we shall tell you the measures being taken by the government of the Republic of Cameroon to redress that particular situation. And equally, Human Rights Watch has condemned the United States government as well as the government of the Republic of Cameroon for the inhumane treatment meted on asylum seekers or Cameroonian asylum seekers who were trying to get into the U.S. in 2021. We shall tell you more on that in this edition of the program. Let's find out what the French newspapers gather for us this morning with Bomotonguina, Gwladys. Bonjour Gwladys.
Fait donc planer du sérieux risque de famine au Cameroun. Nous continuons donc ce matin avec le journal Éco Santé, qui nous parle du plan d'urgence triennal secteur santé. Le centre hospitalier régional de Bolova prend donc ses marques, inauguré le 3 décembre 2021, cette formation hospitalière de deuxième catégorie dotée d'équipements médicaux de pointe, à savoir scanner, IRM, mammographie, échographie, couveuse, apporte un ouf de soulagement aux patients de la région du Sud qui n'ont plus donc besoin de se rendre à Yaoundé pour bénéficier des soins de qualité. Avec donc les consultations généralistes à 600 francs CFA seulement et les consultations spécialistes à 2000 francs CFA, le CHR de Bolova est accessible donc à toute la couche sociale, ce qui lui a donc valu un potentiel de 1300 patients en 2 mois seulement. Nous terminons donc ce matin avec le journal L'Info à chaud qui nous parle de l'avenir du secteur, de l'avenir de la sélection des Lions indomptables du Cameroun. Office président décidera donc du sort du coach Conceição dans 48 heures. Les détails sont donc en page 3 de ce journal.
We are told by the said newspaper, talking to this or the reporter of the Guardian Post newspaper on telephone after the disruption, the National Communications Secretary of the SDF party, Dennis Kemlemo, said the DO stormed the Bonaberi venue of the seminar just when it was about to start. The Ministry of Finance of Cameroon, still with the Guardian Post newspaper, Minfi is preparing the Customs Department to play the role played by national security services, notably the army, gendarmerie, and the police forces in protecting and securing the national territory. As we are told, the Minister of Finance, Louis-Paul Mutaze, yesterday, February 16, 2022, in the Arts Hall of his ministry, installed members of a committee that would collaborate with other security stakeholders in other ministries and departments to come up with an official text that would officially incorporate the Customs Department as a new member of the National Committee in charge of defense of Cameroon. The implications and stakes in the new rule, he said, are very high in it. The minister, Louis-Paul Mutaze, reminded journalists that the head of state, President Paul Biya, had recognized the excellent job the Customs Department has been doing in the country, not only in collection of vital state revenue, or the hike in prices of bread across the national territory. The paper this morning tells us in one of its major headlines that 2008-like strike looms as bread, other commodities prices hike in the country. Bread sellers in Boya, southwest region of Cameroon, have expressed discontent with the increase in the prices of bread. They have said if nothing is done about the increase, they will embark on a week strike across in the chief town Boya. They aired their frustration on Wednesday, February 16, 2022, following a recent increase in the prices of flour and wheat bran that has inevitably or inadvertently increased that of bread, as we are told. And the Post newspaper met one of the unions of bread sellers in Mile 17 in the southwest region of the country, and they were arguing in a meeting as they planned to confront the bakers supplying them with bread. More details on page 5 of this edition of the said newspaper. Let's talk about these accusations on the government of the Republic of Cameroon and the U.S. Human Rights Watch slams U.S. government for violating asylum seekers' rights. According to the paper, the international is already joining us on the line to London to talk on some of the burning issues, especially the hikes in the prices of bread that citizens are threatening to go on strike in Buea, chief town of the southwest region. Maitre Alex, thank you for joining once again.
Good morning. I did not get your last point or the question. It was breaking up, but I can hear you now. Good morning to everyone. I wish you can repeat the question, please. The
newspapers this morning, like I earlier mentioned, are focusing on the hikes in the prices of bread as a result of the sudden rise in the price of importation of wheat and flour into the country. Cameroonians are complaining, especially in Yaoundé, Douala, Bamenda, and Buea, that if nothing is done, they will embark on a nationwide strike.
I made it clear that yesterday bread is our daily bread, and the government should look into this with immediate effect. People keep on complaining. It is their right to put, they were trying to cross. If you are trying to cross, you are not yet in a country, so it's difficult to claim asylum, because an asylum seeker is somebody who is fleeing his own country because of persecution, either because of political, religious, or social reason. So if you are not yet in America or in their soil, it's different.
No, but the newspaper this morning, I'm talking about the the Post newspaper did say, and let me quote that area, that the U.S. government used what the paper terms discriminatory border expulsion policy, and as well as COVID-19 to bar those Cameroonians from entering into the U.S.
Yeah, it might be wrong, but what is important is that every country, including most European countries, they are trying to preserve or protect their border. They are trying to stop orders from other countries to come to their country. But however, the convention is clear. You cannot breach the Geneva Convention on Refugee, because U.S. and Cameroon, they are both signatories. So if you breach it...
Cameroon, how do we address some of these issues? That we don't have electricity, water.
Most often we are proactive. People, as you keep on saying, Cameroonians are complaining. We should stop complaining. When there is an occasion, try and don't succeed. If you ask a lot of Cameroonians, oh, we tried before, they will still do the election. I ask you, have you ever stand as a candidate for an election? People just take stories and they pass it by. We should learn to be proactive. When there's a vacancy, example, how many people in the CPDM political party, when there's a vacancy for presidential election, how many of them say, I want to stand? Instead, you see those youths, I nominate Mr. Biya to stand again. That is what they do. You should start that thing that I want to be. There's nothing to be shy of. If you want to change something, be the change that you want to see.
Okay.
Most people, they just go to a list. They believe that, oh, this list is going to win because they know they're going to rig the election. If you don't try something, you will never know. You have to put yourself there. I say, especially most of us from the Anglophone extraction, if you create a political party, it's an Anglophone who will be against you. I saw a list to do politics at home. Law is part of politics. I have that experience that Mr. Biya and Mr. Aijo did not have. But we don't want to go and put ourselves in that situation and stand for election. You go for election, it's either you win or you lose, and it gives you that experience. But our people don't do that. We must stop complaining. I'm not saying they are not marginalizing us. That's not what I'm saying. But part of stopping that is to put yourself into public office.
Okay, Maitre. We end with this one rapidly, talking about the overzealousness of some local administrative authority. And this one happened in Douala. That was yesterday, where the DO for Douala for subdivision stormed a venue of a meeting that was organized by Friedrich Ebert Foundation to train communicators of the Social Democratic Front Party and the MRC and we are told they were stopped, that the meeting was not declared. We won't begin to wonder, since when did we start declaring seminars organized by an international organization that has an understanding or a memorandum of understanding with the government of the Republic of Cameroon?
When I hear such thing, to be honest, Mr. Lasha,